to fight.
I have things to shoot, people to kill.
Yeah, game decides that I start on the slash, so let's stick with that.
Alright, we're gonna start on MetaILordI. And MetaILordI, not gonna go for the railgun right away, just get the mega first. And I think I think wisely goes for the rail before the heavy pickup to make sure he doesn't get trapped. And it does work out for him since MetaILordI doesn't want to contest that with just the rocket launcher. But now he's gonna make his way to get the railgun and now have a good high ground position.
Yeah, you see he can do all the jumps you need to move from A to B.
But Aromat in a very sneaky position, gonna catch MetaILordI completely off guard, but not connecting with the rocket. A little bit of a movement fumble from MetaILordI, but still secures the mega. And now Boom gonna go, or Aromat gonna go as fast as he can for the heavy, but it's just not fast enough to compete with Slash. And we see he can get caught off, but a lot of LG damage coming out. MetaILordI failing with his rockets. He will secure the kill in the end with the railgun though. And should have enough stack for this mega fight, and we see Aromat doesn't want to contest. Instead, you're gonna take the opportunity to grab the railgun and the rocket launcher. He goes in for some long-range damage, but actually backfires on him. MetaILordI's the one to hit the rail. Now also putting a little bit of a delay in the heavy. I think it is on purpose. Both players missing, but MetaILordI will be the one to finally find the shot and secure the kill with the plasma trail. Interesting way to do it, but it works. Just trying to go for more long-range damage, but messing up the movement once again. But Aromat not fast enough. I think he also kind of fumbled a little bit, but 3 direct rockets. I think direct. Insane amount of damage comes out, and he gets the kill. Now he actually rotates around as well to get even more damage. So MetaILordI forced to back off, but Aromat pushes while railable and doesn't work out at all for him. It gives up an easy angle for MetaILordI to capitalize on. He now also gets the mega. Aromat going for the same type of play, but this time doesn't work out quite as well. Even rocket jumps to get even more damage out. And MetaILordI this time not finding the kill shot, but it's not going to matter in the end since he will still get the heavy and the light armor. He's going to go for the rocket launcher. Aromat uses the pillar to dodge that rail, but he's still in the danger zone here for this fight. And he's going to escape when he gets the opportunity to. MetaILordI lacking an LG, which is a weapon you definitely want against Doomslayer, so he might have to be a little bit more cautious taking any fights. And now he's going to use the opportunity to go grab the lightning gun. But Aromat in a kind of stable position now. He could look for some damage on this mega. That's exactly what we're going to see. In fact, not even trying to go for rails, trying to get some LG tickle in. But just doesn't have the range. And that won't be a successful fight for Aromat. It's going to be forced to play extremely passively now. And MetaILordI, before going for the heavy, instead just looks at an angle on that light armor, which he will successfully get. It was a very, very smart read. Now finally going to get the heavy, but still messing up the movement a little bit. It shouldn't matter, as he should still be able to get the mega. Yeah, able to get it now while still holding the high ground. And this is really the problem that Doomslayer has, especially maneuvering around to Slash. Really nice rocket from down below. And we're going to see the chase with even more rockets. MetaILordI going to be way healthier, so Aromat's going to still be forced to back off. Goes back in with the LG, but MetaILordI able to finish the job with the rocket. And this is really the problem for Doomslayer. He just doesn't have the speed to contest anything with the Slash. Slash will just outmaneuver him everywhere. As well as having kind of a big hitbox for easier rails. Oh, but MetaILordI actually jumps into some LG damage. This could be Aromat's opportunity to get a heavy. He also gets a railgun as well, and a nice hit. MetaILordI does return fire, and Looks like Aromat was a little bit hesitant to go for the heavy, and perhaps he shouldn't have, because MetaILordI able to swoop in and get the kill, as well as the heavy. But Aromat did get to that railgun as fast as he could, and now also gonna beat MetaILordI to the Mega, and MetaILordI messes up his movement, but he still goes back up the pad and gets the Mega, and the Kamikaze rockets come out. But MetaILordI with the line of sight spawn with a railgun too. That could have gone terribly for Aromat, but I think he spawned just barely before MetaILordI did, so MetaILordI couldn't grab the rail in time. So MetaILordI will get the heavy, but it's not all bad for Aromat, who does finally have a good high ground position with the weapons he needs. And we're gonna see a fight come out with the Mega, and Aromat is in good position to get the Mega, and dodges around that Mega successfully to avoid a lot of that damage, and now drops down and gets the kill with the railgun. A really nice play. And he might even have enough time to go contest the heavy. Looks for low ground damage, but at the sacrifice of any damage on the heavy. And MetaILordI actually gets a gift of a railgun on the floor. Really gonna help him out here. Aromat looking for more rail fights, but this is also a problem with Doom. He's gonna be losing out on all these rail fights just because of the hitbox difference. We see a good use of the plasma trail to take an LG fight. He knew that Aromat wanted the long range fight with the railgun. And now Aromat cannot take this engagement. He only has a tri-bolt. But MetaILordI with the wrong weapon selection, he tries to go for the railgun and it doesn't work out. Aromat secures the Mega with only the tri-bolt. And now this is his last opportunity to come back in this game. With 3 minutes left, he will get full control finally. But this is another problem he's gonna have. He can get the heavy, but it's gonna take him a long time to get to the Mega. And I think at this moment, it might be too late for him to get both the items. And he'll be forced to concede the Mega. Silver lining is MetaILordI might be unaware of the heavy timing, and I think that's what's happening right here. He thinks that the heavy is up right now, and so that could give Aromat an opportunity. He comes in from the high ground, and this is a fight he definitely wants to take, but he gets pinned with the LG and floated, and now he's totally trapped and gets killed by the railgun, and what might have been his last opportunity to come back in this game. He will get the Mega at the very least, but with 2 minutes left, it's going to take a miracle to come back, especially against MetaILordI's slash movement. See him go for the rocket trap, but is forced to escape as it doesn't go 100% as planned for him. He'll still be able to go for the long range fight at the heavy. And Aromat doesn't have a railgun to fight back, so he has to use the HMG instead. See more rockets come out. Ooh, Aromat barely misses, but he does hit that one, but not able to find the follow-up, which would have been crucial for him to have any chance to come back in this game. And this might be the final fight of the game, of the map. And it will go in MetaILordI's favor as he hits a really nice vertical rail after those rockets. That will be game over. I think it's not totally unexpected, because it was MetaILordI's favorite map and favorite champion, so if you're Aromat, you just try to not think too hard about it, because next you got your map pick, and taking MetaILordI off his champion. Even getting some momentum going into the next map with a nice little mid-air, or not mid-air, but like long-range rocket kill.
Yeah, so if you would have had the first pick on this map, would you go for Clutch if it's still up?
Well, I haven't played Blood Covenant because it's my permaban.
Yeah.
But if I had the opportunity,
Yeah.
well, if you know that Slash is MetaILordI's favorite champion, then you just pick Slash to take it away from him.
Yeah.
And it's also probably my favorite light champion, so I would probably pick Slash, but any of the light champions would have been fine. I think Aromat's got to widen his champion pool if he can't play any of the light champions, because you really need to on this map. I mean, Clutch is definitely like the other viable option, but it's a lot more difficult and a lot less room for error.
Yeah, on Awoken these days, you see that Athena gets countered with Sorlac sometimes. Is that also a viable option on Blood Covenant? Or do you not think
no, I really
favors,
I'm not a fan of Sorlag at all. I mean, other people definitely value her pretty highly. Like, I know Zeniku and Rafa pick Sorlag a lot, but personally I don't think Sorlag is that good because the hitbox is just so big. And then I just think that the movement and the spit doesn't really make up for that hitbox disadvantage you're putting yourself at. But it definitely has its merits. It depends a lot on playstyle. So for Zeniku or Rafa, with their hyper-aggressive playstyle, the way they use Sorlag, you're kind of just bullying your opponent with the stack. And that can definitely work out if you play it properly. But we're going to see Strog versus BJ on Awoken. I mean, Aromat, he's going to have a similar strategy to what we saw on Earth do, just trying to control those items. But once again, you tend to have a tough time pushing sometimes because the dual wield's not really great at pushing because your opponent will just run away from it. And that's exactly what MetaILord can do. The really good thing about Strog is not only does he have the offensive potential, but the defense is extremely strong because anytime you try to push into him, he can just drop down with Peeker and do a ton of damage to you. Almost similar to a Ranger. I think we should start on Aromat this time.
Yes.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
You won't get this one again.
Aromat gonna get the Mega spawn, going straight for the Mega. And actually might even try to contest Heavy right away. I don't know if that was intentional, but he gets hit by a rail and is already in a pretty precarious situation. He gets the drop down as MetaILord has the wrong weapon out. And the trade, I think, is as good as Aromat could have hoped for there. And he even gets a pretty decent spawn on the railgun. So he is able to get out of that trap, and now with the drive-by rail even going in for the close-range shotgun, but unfortunately misses the kill shot, and MetaILord's gonna get the kill with the rocket, kind of robbing that frag from Aromat. But he's gonna drop down for that heavy and gets the first rocket, but not able to get the follow-up, and Aromat bounces him with 2 of his own beautiful rockets to get the kill. But he's set up extremely early on this Mega with only the rocket launcher. He does have the dual wield, which will definitely help him in the fight if he wants to take it. But as soon as he sees the Peeker, he knows he wants to go for that railgun to take care of it. Goes again for the drive-by rail, and it works out perfectly for him. And now he's set up great. He's set up on the heavy with the dual wield rocket, so MetaILord's not going to want to contest that. But MetaILord just looking for that rail angle. And he hits it, but at the cost of conceding the Mega position to Aromat, and with the dual-wield rockets, it's going to be really tough for MetaILord to want to push into this, and he's not going to want to push in, just going instead to, I think, get the light armor. Aromat not taking the Mega, instead just looking for damage first, which he gets, and he even catches MetaILord. I think he was trying to rotate around to the other light armor. Goes for the mid-air rocket, and it almost fails for him. And even though he got the kill, he does have to give up the heavy, which is a pretty big deal. Gets out the Peeker at the very least, and a nice rail to at least keep MetaILord somewhat weak. Great direct rocket as well, and this is a great opportunity for Aromat. And MetaILord doesn't also have exact timing on the Mega, but he will secure it since Aromat wasn't able to get to it in time. And we see the dual-wield LG comes out, switches to the plasma gun up the jump pad, kind of a missed opportunity there, but he gets the frag anyway. Doesn't get the heavy yet, I'm gonna go back for it. Instead, I think he was just looking for some spawn damage. Tries to do the gun jump to get over to Mega. Fortunately for him, he fails that jump. But he's gonna catch MCS with the Tribolt out, not the weapon you want for those close range fights. And now gonna get the Mega. So, perhaps unintentionally, he put a perfect 15-second split on the items and can afford to just play a little bit passively here. He just sets up as early as possible to make sure he gets the heavy. MCS does find an opportunity to grab a railgun. And now with the dual wield, he can take an LG fight here if he wants to. But the time is running out as the Mega's about to come up. And it looks like he's gonna play it safe. Baits out the railgun with a little jiggle peek, but not able to get as much LG damage as he wanted to, and takes actually big damage from that peeker. But what a nice rail. Both players extremely weak. MCS goes for the Tribolt kill, but it's not gonna work out. Aromat gets the kill with the shotgun, and MCS going for the rocket jump frag, and he gets it as well as the heavy. And also gonna secure position on Mega, but he's going back in for the frag and gets destroyed actually by Aromat's shotgun. Survives with only a sliver of health. He's gonna get the Mega, but Aromat looking very healthy here, and just gonna guard that portal exit. And it might actually work out. He springs the trap, but unable to hit the first rocket. And he gets the kill in the end. The BJ health passive definitely going to help him out here to make sure he can survive this next engagement, which MCS going to take right to him with the LG. And even doesn't even stop the chase. And the peeker comes out. Aromat has no way to take care of the peeker. And that's a huge frag for MCS. But on the flip side, Aromat gets the perfect spawn directly on the Mega. And MCS once again going in for the fight. But not a wise decision against the shotgun. Which cleans him up in two shots. And now Aromat just doing his best to guard this heavy. Ed gonna be able to get T position, but actually instead just gonna concede the Mega, it looks like. But MCS not in time for the Mega either. Looks like he backed up from it, but Aromat fails the jump, and now in a pretty bad low ground position. Especially with the wrong weapon out there and a beautiful Tribolt frag. Actually, I think that was maximum Tribolt damage from above, which is pretty difficult to do. And Aromat gets caught out from the close range rocket, kind of the same thing he was trying to do, just trapping the portal with rockets. See LG damage exchange, and actually works out really well for Aromat, and the peeker backfires on MCS. Aromat just able to do LG damage while MCS was going for the peeker. After getting that light armor, he might feel comfortable enough to play for this heavy, and he does with the LG, and he catches MCS with the wrong weapon out. So he'll be able to secure that heavy. If he's fast, he can get over to Mega. We see a really nice rocket come out, and that'll be enough to get him the kill without even needing to use the dual wield. I think we see Aromat's game plan here. After every Mega, he just makes sure to deny the railgun position around the heavy. And even gets some a trap going around the portal exit. Should get the kill, and he does with the rocket. Now gonna get a heavy. However, there's not that much time for him to rotate to Mega, so MCS might be able to get it, but instead, MCS tries to go for the railgun and gets caught out. Maybe he thought that Aromat was rotating around the other direction. And he gets caught again with the rocket. Actually, Sync Error gets the kill this time. A nice spawn trap from Aromat, too. Rocket into rail combo, beautiful. And forces the spawn at LG, which is exactly what he wanted. Just guarding that exit as well. Unfortunately, doesn't get any damage on the rocket. Takes a ton of peeker damage as well. Is extremely weak, so he's going to be forced to back off. MCS going for the light armor before the Mega. A little bit risky. And the risk did not pay off. Aromat's going to get the frag. As MCS was trying to chase the kill up the jump pad. MCS rocket jumps over to get the railgun. Just gonna make sure he gets that heavy. He was a little bit careful since he didn't have an LG, so he didn't want to just drop down and take an LG fight. And he's gonna find his opportunity to escape to the mega health. There's still enough time, but it's gonna have to be a miracle of a comeback. He might be able to get the frag right here, right now. Rockets come out unable to find their mark, and the Peeker also not able to get the kill. Misses the rail through the hole. But finds the kill now, and he has to get the spawn frag in order to have a chance in this game. Gets the heavy first. And there might be a fight at this tribal. Aromat's gonna escape through the portal. And MetaILordI trying to get any damage, but Aromat with a really nice defensive position with those rockets. And he's not gonna budge from that position because he knows how difficult it is for MetaILordI to push in. The duel gonna force MetaILordI away, and I think that should be the game secured for Aromat. And especially after this LG pin, though, MetaILordI does get the heavy, and perhaps a spawn frag could come out right here. And Aromat very wisely delays his spawn and gets a beautiful. I keep saying beautiful. He gets a good spawn at the railgun. It's exactly what he wanted with that spawn delay. Two nice rails to keep MetaILordI weak, and that will secure the game. 100%. So Aromat able to tie the series, and that's exactly what I was saying, where don't get your map pick map one. You know it's your opponent's favorite map by far. If you lose, sometimes it's best to just not worry about it too much and know that next two maps you'll have more of an advantage. Especially because it seems to me like MetaILordI really likes those crouch sliders, picking both Slash and Strong, so maybe without a crouch slider on the third map, he'll be a little bit less comfortable as well. So we're gonna go to map 3. It's gonna be Molten Falls Anarchy versus Ranger. And it'll be interesting this map because Aromat's gonna have the mobility advantage on the Anarchy. So completely different from these first two. And we'll see how he can use it. While MetaILordI is gonna be on the Ranger.
So both players have their own picks.
Yeah, I think very strong picks for both players. I think this matchup's total toss-up just based on the champions. Anarchy definitely has the movement advantage, and the main strength of that on Molten obviously is the ability to run away, which Ranger could have a hard time catching you sometimes, but like always, Ranger has really good defensive capabilities. If he decides just to hunker down in one position, you can't do too much about it. And the mobility's not that bad with rocket jumps and orbs. It'll always be really hard to take the close range fights around the items with Ranger. And if he ever needs to, he can just orb right on the item and steal it from you. The inject also is really strong on Molten Falls because there's so many hourglasses around, and ideally you do want to be controlling the heavy. So with Anarchy, you could have both the heavy and overstack on the health.
Yeah, still you are light. Like if you set up a trap with the Ranger, rocket orb combo or shotgun orb combo.
Yeah, Ranger doesn't even need to sometimes control both the items because he can still be a threat just hiding in the corner. And yeah, you always have to be really careful and try to bait the orb out first before pushing into him. I'm going to start on Aromat because I do want to see him on Anarchy. This will be his first time with a big movement advantage.
Prepare to fight.
Falling apart.
Okay, I'll start on him.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Gets the spawn at the Mega and not going to go for the Railgun, perhaps scared of the orb, and MetaILord goes for the rail first. Also make sure to put a delay on the heavy for a little bit, just to muddy the timing. Not really for much of a strategic purpose other than to muddy the timing, I think, but also a really nice rail from Aromat while MetaILord was going up to get the LG. But MetaILord sits up on the Mega as fast as he can and gets his own nice rail. And now should have an advantage in this fight. He drops down with some nice rockets, and the orb comes out as well. And he'll get the kill with the rocket, and that delay he put on the heavy is going to be really valuable here. It's going to give him just a little bit more time to go around. And although he won't get it, he's going to go for the kill anyway. Drops down. Aromat able to escape, and now shotgun up the jump pad. A little bit too predictable from MetaILord. And once again, a little bit predictable that MetaILord going straight for the railgun, but fortunately for him, Aromat not able to connect. For some reason decides to go for the jump pad, and Aromat with the perfect read. A nice rocket up that jump pad, and able to get the frag. Now gonna decide, we'll take the Mega. It won't be in time for the heavy. And we might see a fight at the high ground, but that's a fight Aromat's not gonna want to take because he knows the orb is up. I think that was the wise decision. You don't want to take those close range fights against an orb. And just using the speed to his advantage. Sometimes with Anarchy, it's best to just literally just run around because that's how you keep your maximum speed. Gonna look for some angles on the Mega, but gonna be happy just to take the heavy, which is an Anarchy you can always be happy to do. The inject comes out as well for the fight. MetaILord drops down. No orb comes out either. And I think Aromat does come out on top since he has the light armor to back up to. Rails come out. Both players are railable. But the orb is still available, which could be the X factor in this fight. And it is. The orb able to get the kill with the telefrag. And that's why you gotta respect the orb. And because of that delay on the heavy, it's really crippling Aromat's ability to secure it cleanly. But MetaILord feels like he's not healthy enough to fight for it. Instead, going for the light armor. Also getting his orb off cooldown. And the stacks should be close to equal. The inject is available, but so is the orb. The rockets come out right before the orb is available. A nice direct orb combo, but it's just not enough. And Aromat's gonna get the Mega, and he knows there's a lot of time before that heavy. Looks like he's gonna decide not to go for it. Instead, actually gonna try to guard the LG, perhaps. Or just unsure about the timing, which is also a possibility. There is a light armor available for him, but he's not set up properly for it. MetaILord gets the rocket launcher position, and just gonna guard that. But not going for the Mega, and that could be a pretty big misplay for him since he had the opportunity to try to get both items there. He's still gonna go as fast as he can over to the heavy, which Aromat is not 100% sure of the timing of. It was available for him. But MetaILord will get it, but fails that rocket jump since he takes a direct. And Aromat just winning this fight, doing all the damage. MetaILord really not connecting with any of his shots. And Aromat now in a good position, goes for the shotgun. He does have to be careful, and I think he knows the orb is up, so he doesn't want to chase the kill. So he's gonna get the Mega. He's gonna be a little bit late for this heavy. And gets caught up the jump pad. MetaILord, the orb doesn't come out to chase the kill though, but he's still gonna have a huge stack advantage. And we might see a kill come out here. Aromat sees MetalLord and decides to run away. He will be able to successfully escape, but still not super healthy. The inject will be available for him if needed. Sees that, and he knows that that light armor is up if he needs it. And he has the opportunity to grab the heavy, and he will go for it, but he misses it on the drop down. That could be huge, but he's doing a great job with those defensive rockets. The orb misses, but it might not even matter. MetalLord hits a really great rocket. Aromat's extremely weak. The rail not connecting. It would kill him. The rocket push. He falls down the jump pad, and he can't get the kill. And Aromat's going to be able to secure that mega as well as a bunch of light armor and a health bubble. That could have totally been MetalLord's kill, but he's just not connecting when he needs to. And Aromat's going to be the one with the advantage. The heavy's available, but both players may be unsure about the timing. Aromat will be the one to get it. MetalLord not getting any rail damage either. He might be a little bit too slow to go get the mega health. He's going to look for rail damage on it. Unable to hit it. Any shots. Stacks will be equalized. And now MetalLord gonna get a nice angle on the heavy. The orb comes out to try to get the heavy, but heavy's not available for him. So he just wastes the orb for nothing, and this is a huge opportunity for Aromat to further his lead. Really patient with that tribal, but it might be too patient since he didn't have to give up the mega there, but he did. He's just going to be guarding this jump pad and maybe even those hourglasses. He hears the portal, so he knows he needs to fight for this heavy. Tribal doing a lot of damage, and he's going to go for the drop down on the heavy, and he makes it successfully. And this is perfect for him since he'll be able to get to the mega first. Aromat also, it's going to take a while for his inject to come back up. Gonna look for rail damage on the exit, unable to connect. And this will be a huge fight for MetalLord to take. And he gets a rail through the portal, catching Aromat completely off guard. Another rail, he goes for the chase. A huge direct rocket though, and because of that mobility advantage that Anarchy has, MetalLord's not able to chase the kill. He's forced to go all the way back to heavy, which might give Aromat enough time to get the mega. But it looks like Aromat not 100% sure on the timing of it, as he's not going to be going for the mega, instead just wants to run away, and perhaps his strategy is going to be to try to run out the clock, which is very possible on this map. And that's the advantage Anarchy has with the movement, and we saw that with the chase earlier. Gonna try to book it out of that fight. Does successfully escape. Looked like MetalLord was trying to chase. And he's still trying to chase. Looking the wrong direction to get a rail angle. We see the fight come out, but once again the orb misses. Just hasn't been able to get the value he's needed from those orbs. However, MetalLord, he's still gonna secure the mega. Actually messes up that rocket jump, which could be huge. He gets floated with the LG. Both players extremely weak. And neither player able to get the kill shot. At least for MetalLord, he survives. And it looks like Aromat's going to be too scared to push for the heavy, which could be really good for MetalLord, who's going to get the heavy. However, he's going to have to find a way to get the frag. I think one of these orbs has to hit. He keeps missing them, you know. Even for the mobility advantage, he keeps missing his mark with that as well. And Aromat able to get back up to a base stack as well as getting some hourglasses to get his inject back. MetalLord gonna go for the drop down. Not able to find it. 1 minute left. And Aromat knows what his plan is. Just gonna wait for the sound cue. Hears it, goes for the defensive rocket first and the rail just to make sure MetalLord doesn't want to push in. And once again, gonna take a defensive position at the heavy. MetaILordI trying to rocket jump to get some extra speed. Walks into a little bit of tri-bolt damage. Not going to be enough to ward him off. But Aromat once again going to use Anarchy's speed to get away. And this is a dire situation for MetaILordI, who needs to get a kill. And this might be his opportunity. He knows where Aromat is, but Aromat with the Anarchy speed, able to escape. The orb comes out to try to chase, but Aromat didn't go up that jump pad. Instead, gonna escape through the portal, which MetaILordI did figure out. Gets a really nice rail off on the chase, but he leaves the Mega up, and I think that will be game over. So Aromat able to use the Anarchy speed to his advantage this whole game. He didn't really have to take any fights. Just ran away the whole map, which is how Molten Falls often goes. It's got to be very frustrating for MetaILordI, knowing how long he was in control there, but just unable to find a single opportunity.
Yeah, there's definitely an art in escaping fights. It's really difficult to do.
Yeah, it was a really nice game from both players. Good defensive play from Aromat. MetaILordI was able to get control for most of that, but he kept messing up the fights. Like, there's so many orb misses, and every time there was a fight around the heavy, he would always lose, even if he had a pretty big stack advantage. So he's definitely got to work on his combat ability on this map. Maybe also a little bit uncomfortable since he didn't have a crouch slider.